Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed.
We must come see that the end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience.
Faith is taking the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase.
That we are all here to pause, to remember, and to reflect on this national holiday.
To honor a great man who transcended race to speak of freedom for all. I feel so proud of all of you and my city. And not because we've gotten to the finish line, but because we're on the journey together. And as Martin Luther King noted, he may not live to see that day, but he believed that he was making an impact on the world and that this country someday will live up to its credo.
I grew up in Palo Alto, and my parents were very active in voter registration in East Palo Alto and other areas in Redwood City, and were involved with the American Friends Service Committee.
I'm from Richmond, and my home church when I was coming up was Easter Hill United Methodist Church, and Dr. Martin Luther King came to our church, along with Thurgood Marshall as well.
But my life was more than just on the stage. I had to make a difference. That's what my father had taught us. That's what my teachers had all taught us. So I made a decision to fall in love with Martin Luther King Jr. We must love. We must love our enemies because love is the only thing that has redemptive power to transform those who hate us. And keep loving them, even though they're mistreating us. Because at some point, they're going to be a transition period. And they're going to feel guilt and shame about how they're treating you, and you're just treating them with love. And then they're going to mistreat you even worse. But then somehow, they're going to be transformed because there's power in love.
When we come together, we strengthen one another in our resolve to not be turned away from that commitment.
Therefore, the first hope in our inventory must be the hope that love is going to have the last word.
Love is somehow the key that unlocks the door which leads to ultimate reality. This Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist belief about the ultimate reality is beautifully summed up in the first epistle of St. John. Let us love one another. If we love one another, God dwelleth in us, and God's love is perfected in us.
I believe that even amid today's mortar burst and whining bullets, there is still hope for a brighter tomorrow. I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I believe that what self-centered people have torn down, people other-centered can build up. When our days become dreary with low hovering clouds, and our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, we'll know that we are living in the creative turmoil of a genuine civilization struggling to be born.
It's an NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. At that time, it was 4. That's what black people were called. But our new president, our new CEO, a young man from Jackson, Mississippi, by the name of Derek Johnson, says, it's appropriate now. Because everybody is of color. We're all of color. It may be different color, but we're all people of color. And so I wish and hope that we can all come together and know each other as people.
We are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. Procrastination is still the thief of time. Life often leaves us standing bare, naked and dejected, the lost opportunity. Now let us begin. Now let us rededicate ourselves to the long and bitter but beautiful struggle for a new world.
Help us to walk together, sing together, pray together, live together until that day when all of God's children, black, white, red, brown, yellow, will rejoice in one common band of humanity. And so it is.